wanted to make this video about a pervert doctor. It was a video I saw uploaded by a current affair. Anyway, so I'm gonna say this is kind of like my intro trigger warning. I need to kind of let you know that I'm going to be talking about disgusting pervert doctors, and especially so because this video triggered me to want to make this video about my experience with gross doctors that do things they shouldn't do to women, especially really, really young women that don't know any better. And yes, that was me at one point. So I want to warn you, this is going to talk about essay type things. I remember when I was young, like really young, like maybe like I was like 18 or 19. I was pretty innocent, naive. I just would not have thought like a doctor would do this. Anyway, my regular doctor was not available to take me in, and this was in the same practice. And my doctor, he's I've never like had reason to believe that or feel like I was going to feel unsafe ever in the years that like I attended that practice. But anyway, one day I was like so sick, and I didn't really go to the doctors that often. Like I would have to be so like unwell, and I really was. I really needed antibiotics. You just don't expect to have to even think about anything else than getting your consultation with the doctor to go over your health issues and address that. So like anyway, I went in there, and it was like this doctor I never ever see. Like I've seen him around before, and he just always gave me like, the chills, like as if there's just like something not right with him. You know that, just get that getting over the flu or something. And I'm still coughing and what have you. Anyway, I was like going to the doctor, and they're like, "Oh, you can come in, but you'll have to see Doctor so and so because you can't get in to see your doctor because he's like all booked out." I went in, and I'm like, "Oh, it's that." Like I knew the name, and I'm like, "Oh no, I'm so desperate though. Like I feel really unwell. Like I've got like some kind of virus. I just really need antibiotics." That's all I wanted was like some antibiotics to get over my bug, because it was going on for like over a week. And I was like super sick, just not in my right mind. And anyway, went in, I finally get called up, and I'm like, oh crap. Like I really just didn't want to see this guy. Like he just fucking wigged me right out. His face even looks like predatory. His name is Dr. Predator. And you know what? Even his like name, like Dr. blah blah, is pretty much a giveaway, a word that would describe the general disposition of and nature of this guy. You know how like people have those names and it's like, oh fudge, their name. Who gets these names? Like, like, oh, I can't tell you, whatever, but names are just sometimes like a dead ringer for who they are. It's a mega giveaway. Anyway, so like, I'm like dreading seeing this doctor. I was just already like feeling like just something wasn't right. That I felt really unsettled having to go in there, but I did it anyway because I just wanted the prescription so I could leave. Anyway, I get into his room, and he was like he started talking to me straight away about when was the last time I had gynecological examination. I'm like, are you fucking for real? I was like in shock that this is what he leads with. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just really unwell. I've got like a bug. I just want some antibiotics. I'm really sick. And he goes, this is a service I offer. It's something I'm qualified to do. And he had all these like stupid degrees up there. Not that there's anything wrong. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, having a degree does not mean that you have the right to be a predator. Like, let me just tell you that, because this is what this is all about. This guy is a complete like fucking predator. And he wasn't even that old. Like, Okay, so I was like 19. He was probably like in his 40s, perhaps. You know, he wasn't like old. So he's like just kept telling me that he wanted to give me a gynecological examination. You know, most women that are sexually active and getting regular examinations have a specialist physician that they do go to on a regular basis. Like this guy's a rando, even though he had my file and knew that like I was someone who was going to that medical like practice since I was kind of like born. So he had access to my file. He was like seriously, he must have just been like hanging out to like get his rocks off. I was like super confronted by it because I wasn't expecting to be propositioned by it, because that's kind of what it felt like. It felt like a proposition. Like it felt like he was coming onto me, and it was like he was totally up close and in my space. I was just like, I cannot believe this. I couldn't believe it was happening. You know, when he was talking about this, I honestly was in shock, and I honestly really didn't know how to respond to it, because I was just like, I can't believe this is happening right now. I feel really uncomfortable. Well, I felt really uncomfortable that he said it, but there was also like this added air about it. Like when someone's like coming onto you and like stalking you, kind of like predatory kind of behavior. And I was just like, fuck no. Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening to me. Because, you know, like, I think by that time, let me just tell you that it wasn't my first time to be like preyed upon by some guy. I don't know what it is about like where I grew up, but it was just full of sick predators that just, you know, wanted to like stick their dick in it. Like I'm just going to be straight out and forthright about it, because it really is like that. It is super disgusting and gross. In fact, where I grew up, it was really hard to just be a woman or a girl in general, because there was just so many men that solicited and engaged in sex this way, I guess. That was their way of doing it. Yeah, I lived in a really fucked up town. Okay. It was a steel city type town. And yeah, we all kind of grew up rough. Um it wasn't uncommon. In fact, I didn't know anyone that wasn't like raped or sexually defiled in some way. It was kind of common. In fact, you know, women just stopped girls that were brutally experienced that, like, just stop reporting it, because nobody did anything about it. Yeah, that was the kind of town I lived in, where you would call the cops and they just wouldn't listen to you anyway. And no matter who you told, they wouldn't believe you. Like you could tell your parents and they wouldn't believe you. Oh, there's no way that would happen. Blah blah blah. That's how it was at the time. These kinds of things they would just go unaddressed, and nobody cared, to be honest. So pretty much by the time you get to high school, all of my friends, my like best friends, I don't know, they weren't really friends. They were just people I suffered with. They were all 1, 2, 3, 4 times, 5 times abused and raped in a sexual nature, you know, wasn't uncommon. So anyway, by the time like I was 19, 18, 19, I've been around this so many times, and I was just like, not again. You know, with this doctor guy, I'm like, no fucking way is this happening to me again. I'm like, oh fuck. I was just so resiled. Especially a doctor. You know, even though this guy was like, I mean, you just see him, he's like a warning sign. You know, straight away you just know this guy is like has bad intentions. Ugh. So this is all alleged. Anyway, I'm not giving away names, and I'm not sure what the statute of limitations is. I'm pretty sure it's passed, and in terms of making any reports. I'm sorry, this is all over the place because, like, I saw this and it just totally triggered me, and just I remembered my experience. And I guess that's also why I don't really go to doctors, and I don't know. Anyway, not that it matters anymore. So he's in that room with this guy, and he's like, kept talking about how important it is, and if I don't want to get it done today, like I have to like totally make an appointment as soon as possible for him to get in there and have a look around and stick his ugh, disgusting, ugh, gross. Like honestly, you would just not even want to fuck this guy. Like seriously, that's like the fucking chilling thing about it. These guys are just so like disgusting. Ugh. Just so disgusting. Like, I'm pretty sure he had a wedding ring on too when he's like married. And anyway, so he was like pressuring me for like ages, for like I don't know, at least like most of that consultation to want to like give me an exam. Oh God! And I was like just going, like I'm just sick. Look, I'm just gonna like yeah, okay, I'll. Like, I don't know how long it's been since I've had a consultation. Look, yeah, all right. Like, I'll schedule in for you to do that to me. Like, so I was just saying whatever I could to like sort of placate him to some degree so that like, he thinks that I'm totally like going to go along with him, and to disarm him from thinking that I didn't want to comply with him. And I was really trying to just be, let him think that he was in control of the situation, and that he had control over me, because that's what it was. And I honestly, again, felt so disempowered, and like this guy had power over me, and I just felt like shit. Honestly, I was also just could not believe this was happening again, because I kind of like tried to stay away from people at that point in time, especially men, like seedy, disgusting men that, I could just tell when they were going to be gross and like, you know, predatory. And ugh. Sadly, that was most of the people in this town that I lived in, I grew up in. They were just so like fucking gross. It was not uncommon for men like to engage in that kind of behavior. There wouldn't be a female that had not experienced like some type of sexual abuse or rape by the time she was like in high school. After all of that, and like trying to like get him to like think that he could have me in book straight in again so that he could do that. He then proceeded to go, okay, well then I'll examine you, but you have to take your top, you have to go over there, take your top off, take everything off from the waist up. And he gave me this like, like that medical linen. It's like that funny green color, blue that they use in like the hospital. And it was literally the size of a pillowcase. He gave me that and he goes, and then go lie down on like, that medical bed and put it over the top of you. I'm like, are you fucking serious, dude? I've got like a fucking chest infection. I just need like some antibiotics, As soon as he said that to me, I was like, oh my God, ding, 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 ding. This guy is a serious sexual psycho predator. I was like just totally fucking like, no way, not again is this happening to me. Oh my God, I'm so exhausted by these disgusting fucks. Like, seriously. Yeah. So, you know what? I fucking did it. I like walked over to the stupid bed that he wanted me to lay on. I took everything off from the waist up and like put the sheet on and lie down. it was like such a humiliation ritual. It seems like something that he does all the time. Totally disgusting, and then he's like, touching around here and like then he's like taking it he took that off so like I'm all exposed. Um where like my other doctor would never ever do that to me. If I went in there with like my chest infection complaint, he would just, like I would just have to go down like a little bit, maybe undo my top button. He would like put his stethoscope on me and like, move it around a bit to check my breathing, whatever. And maybe like on my back, lift my shirt up. It was never like gross fucking sexual stuff. I just felt so defiled, honestly. Anyway, I can't even believe, like, looking back on it, that I went along with this guy, but I did. And I just remember him standing over the top of me, looking at me, this disgusting, vile man. He even looked like a fucking reptile, ugh. Such an ugly looking man. I like knew it wasn't common practice. This guy has some balls. I also noted like how he had all these degrees. He's quite active in medical research, I could see. So it was just really alarming that like someone would do that. I was just honestly so naive. Then like after he like checked me out, and because did I say like, yeah, he told me he even like took that off and like was, oh, really was overkill and not necessary. Like just, so yeah, anyway, I was just totally triggered by it and really naive about it. I can't believe that I took that shit and did nothing about it. Like, if that had happened to me now, like I probably would have done something. I don't know. I know I would have reported it because, and like you just don't expect it to happen to you. I don't know. Look, I had a really fucked up childhood where like, I just got used to not reporting anything ever about things that were done to me, things like even at school, extracurricular activities that I like was a part of. Lines were always crossed and I was always like subjected to some type of inappropriate, like someone touching me inappropriately or like crossing that line where you don't want people in your space. Like it's just, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with people. Like they just think that they can like, do whatever they want to. I don't know, like something in the air. It must be all like the pollution and steel smoke shit that is in this city that I grew up in. Super industrial. Lots of people turned out with cancers and we're just so like messed up from all like the particles in the air. I don't know like what it was, but seriously, I kind of just wanted to talk about it because this current affair report kind of triggered me about pervert doctors. I can't believe it's still going on. And also, did I say like after he was like touching me around there, like he was watching me put my clothes back on and it's like he got what he wanted because he kind of looked like he just wanted to get rid of me at that point. And but he also like, insisted go out there and schedule the appointment for the gyno thing. Like, dirty fucking asshole. Like, are you kidding? I do not want you down there ever. Go home to your wife, you sick fuck, depraved fuck. Honestly, now I would kick him in the nuts. I really would have. It's not funny. This is like so serious. It's really serious and I don't know. I cannot tell you the amount of times that this has happened to me. Not just me. It happened to everyone. I knew. I didn't have a friend, like I said. growing up that this kind of thing had not happened to, they had not experienced like far worse. So, when I was going through it with him, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it's happening again, because it's happened to me several times where like some dirty guy would, overpower me to some degree, and it wouldn't be the last, to say the least. And I might talk about that in another video. Yeah, yeah. And you know what? If that's happening to you now, like go and report it. Make some noise about it. They shouldn't get away with it. Like I didn't report it. I do regret it. I didn't tell anyone about it. This is the first time I've spoken about it since it happened, and it was like so long ago now. But nobody would listen to me anyway if I said that. That was just the way it is. It was. I think if the same thing happened today, I think a lot has changed and someone would listen to it. But by the outcome of this report for this pervert doctor, justice wasn't really served, I think, in proportion to the actual crime committed. So yeah, anyway, if this has happened to you, I'm really sorry, and I just kind of wanted to share that because it shouldn't go on. And especially doctors, it's just such a perverse thing to do when you're in such a position of power over someone. And this is what I find in this society, is that everyone wants to have power over someone. It's this system of control. It's like top down. It really doesn't discriminate. It's kind of like Matrix human demiurge nature, where it's just human instinct to want to like have power over someone and degrade them. Yeah, that's it.